I found the proof and stayed silent. I found a contract with my forged signature selling my half of our $8 million company for $200,000. The date on it? March 1st, 2025. 3 weeks from now. My hands were so cold I couldn't feel the mouse. I clicked it open anyway. The question wasn't, how could he do this? The question was, how many people were already in on it? My husband, Jason, and I built Nexicode together from our studio apartment in San Francisco. That was 2016. We bootstrapped with $30,000 in credit card debt and a dream. Now we had 47 employees, contracts with 4 Fortune 500 companies, and revenue that hit $12 million last year. I trusted him with everything. The business, our finances, our future. Looking back, the signs were there. 6 months ago, Jason started having investor meetings I wasn't invited to. He said they wanted to meet with the business side, separately from the tech side. I'm the CTO. I built the entire platform. But I let it go because he was the CEO, and that was his domain. I was the fool who believed him. Jason and I met at a hackathon in Berkeley in 2014. We were both competing solo, both staying up until 4 a.m. fueled by Red Bull and stubbornness. We tied for first place and decided to get coffee instead of splitting the prize money. We started dating 3 weeks later. Married in 2016, right before we officially incorporated Nexicode. Here's what we built. A proprietary AI-driven customer service platform that could handle complex queries without human intervention. My code, my algorithms, my 8 years of work. We had a house in Palo Alto. Well, a condo, but in Palo Alto that's basically a palace. Combined net worth around $11 million, including company equity. We were featured in TechCrunch twice. Forbes 30 Under 30 in 2019. I trusted Jason completely because we were partners. Equal equity, equal decision-making power. At least, that's what our operating agreement said. But 6 months ago, things shifted. Jason started working from coffee shops instead of our office. Said he focused better there. He password protected his laptop, something he'd never done before. When I asked about it, he laughed. Industry security protocols, babe. We're too big not to be careful now. Made sense. We just signed a $3.2 million contract with a healthcare company. Security mattered. I explained away every red flag with logic. That's what I do. I'm a problem solver. I just didn't realize I was the problem he was trying to solve. February 8th, 2025. 11:43 p.m. Jason was in Seattle for what he called a pitch meeting. I was home alone, working on a critical code update that was due Monday morning. I needed our corporate documents, specifically our operating agreement. I thought it was in our shared Dropbox, but it wasn't. So I did something I had never done before. I logged into Jason's laptop. I knew his password. He'd told me himself 2 years ago when he was traveling and needed me to send a file. He'd never changed it. Nexicode 2023. His desktop was obsessively organized. Color-coded folders. Everything labeled. Very Jason. Then I saw a folder titled JC_personal. Do not open. My cursor hovered over it for a solid 30 seconds. Here's the thing about being married to someone for 9 years. You develop trust. Real trust. The kind where you don't snoop because you don't need to. But something in my gut twisted. I clicked. Inside were subfolders. Investor docs, legal review, new company formation, and one labeled Maya buyout final. My heart rate spiked so fast I felt dizzy. I opened Maya buyout final. There it was. A 47-page buyout agreement. My signature on page 46, right next to Jason's. Notarized. Dated from March 1st, 2025. According to this document, I was voluntarily selling my 50% equity stake in Nexicode for $200,000. $200,000. Our company was conservatively valued at $8 million. My half was worth $4 million. The room started spinning. I pulled out my phone and took photos of every single page. Then I opened the other folders. Investor docs contained pitch decks for a new company. Apex Solutions. The product description was word for word my platform, my code, my algorithms, just rebranded. Legal Review had email chains between Jason and a lawyer named Mitchell Kowalski discussing cleanest exit strategy and minimizing founder dispute exposure. One email from Jason to Mitchell, dated January 12th. She won't suspect anything until it's done. Maya's brilliant with code, but clueless with business. I'll have her sign the buyout as part of standard corporate restructuring, and she'll never question it. My hands weren't shaking anymore. They were completely still. I didn't call Jason. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Instead, I did what any engineer would do. I started collecting data. I stayed up until 4 a.m. that night documenting everything. I created a hidden folder in my personal cloud drive and copied every file from Jason's laptop, every email, every document, every spreadsheet. Then I started digging deeper. Our company financials were in QuickBooks. I had full admin access. I'd set up the whole system myself back in 2016. I pulled up our accounts and filtered by Jason Chun, authorized transactions. What I found made my blood run cold. Over the past 8 months, Jason had authorized $340,000 in consulting fees to a company called Vertex Advisory Group. I'd never heard of Vertex Advisory Group. I Googled them. No website, no LinkedIn, no public presence. So I cross-referenced the payment routing numbers with our bank statements. The account belonged to Mitchell Kowalski, Jason's lawyer. He'd been funneling our company money, my money, to pay for the legal work to push me out. But here's what made me see red. I checked the dates. The first payment to Vertex Advisory was August 15th, 2024. That was 3 days after my father died. I'd taken 2 weeks off to handle the estate and grieve. I was a wreck. Jason had been so supportive, held me while I cried, told me to take all the time I needed. He'd handle everything at work. What he actually did was start planning my corporate execution. While I was burying my father, Jason was meeting with lawyers about how to steal my company. I didn't cry. I didn't break down. I got methodical. I opened a new email account. Not connected to our company. Not connected to anything Jason could access. I forwarded every piece of evidence to myself. Then I started making calls. First call. My law school friend Rachel Ng, who now ran a boutique corporate litigation firm in San Francisco. Me? Rachel, I need a lawyer. Not for me. Against my husband. Corporate fraud and forgery. Rachel, I'll clear my afternoon. Come in at 2 p.m. Bring everything. Second call, our accountant David Moreno. We'd used him for 5 years. He knew our books inside and out. Me? David, I need you to pull a full audit of Nexicode's financials for the past year. Every transaction. Every authorization. I need it by Friday. David, Maya, is everything okay? Me? No, but it will be. But here's what I didn't know yet. Jason wasn't working alone. Rachel's office was in Soma, 20th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the bay. I laid everything out for her. The forged buyout, the fake consulting fees, the new company formation, all of it. Rachel went through each document methodically, making notes on her legal pad. Rachel, this is ironclad fraud, forgery, embezzlement. We can pursue criminal charges if you want. Me, I want my company. I want him out. I want him to lose everything he tried to steal from me. Rachel smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Rachel, then we need to move fast and stay quiet. He can't know you know until we have legal protection in place. She outlined the strategy. 1. File for an emergency restraining order preventing Jason from accessing company accounts or making corporate decisions. 2. Secure an injunction blocking the buyout. 3. File a lawsuit for fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, and embezzlement. 4. Pursue criminal charges for forgery. But first, we needed more evidence. Rachel, you said he has investor meetings. Do you know who the investors are? I pulled up the pitch deck I'd copied. 3 names listed under committed funding. Marcus Webb, Webb Capital Partners. Jennifer Sato, Elevation Ventures. David Chun, wait. Me. David Chun is his brother. Rachel. His brother's investing in the company meant to compete with yours? Me. David's been to our house. He's had dinner with us. He was at our wedding. I felt sick. Rachel. Who else knows about this? Does your team at Nexicode know? That's when it hit me. Our VP of Engineering, Priya Sharma. She'd been acting weird lately. Distant. Avoiding eye contact during meetings. Last week, I'd asked her about a code review and she'd said, "You should probably check with Jason on that." Since when did engineering decisions go through the CEO? I pulled out my phone and opened Slack. Scrolled through the private messages between Jason and Priya from the past 6 months. Rachel had told me to copy everything from Jason's laptop. That included his Slack data export. I found it. Jason to Priya, September 3rd, 2024. When the transition happens, you'll move to head of engineering at Apex. $200,000 salary bump. Just need you to document Maya's core algorithms before we finalize. Priya to Jason, September 5th, 2024. I feel terrible about this. Trust me. Jason to Priya, September 5th, 2024. Maya's brilliant, but she's not a business person. She'll be fine. This is better for everyone. Trust me. Priya had been stealing my code, documenting my proprietary algorithms, preparing to hand them over to Jason's new company. My mentee, the woman I'd personally recruited from Google 3 years ago, the person I'd fought to get promoted last year. She'd been betraying me for 6 months. Rachel. How many people on your team report to Priya? Me. 12. The entire engineering department. Rachel. We need to assume they all might be involved. Or, at minimum, they might be leaving with Jason. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Me, hello? Male voice. Is this Maya Chen? From Nexicode? Me, who is this? Voice. My name is Marcus Webb. I'm an investor. I thank you and I need to talk. Marcus Webb wanted to meet immediately. I met him at a cafe in Menlo Park. Neutral territory. Marcus was in his 50s, gray hair, expensive suit, the kind of guy who'd seen every Silicon Valley scheme twice. Marcus, I'm going to be direct. Jason pitched me on Apex Solutions 2 weeks ago. Show me your platform. Sorry, his platform, according to him, said you were a junior developer who'd left the company and he'd built everything himself. Me, I'm the CTO. I built the entire platform. Every line of code. Marcus, I know. That's why I'm here. He slid a folder across the table. Marcus, I do my due diligence. I pulled Nexicode's corporate filings. Your name is all over the patents, all over the technical documentation. Jason's name appears exactly 0 times on anything technical. Me, then why are you investing in Apex? Marcus, I'm not. I told Jason I needed 2 weeks to think about it. That was a lie. I wanted to find you first. He leaned forward. Marcus, Jason Chen is trying to steal your company and your technology. But here's what he doesn't know. I've seen this before. 3 times. And every time, the technical founder who gets pushed out, they're the one I should have backed from the start. Marcus laid out what he knew. Jason had pitched 3 investors, Marcus, Jennifer Sato, and his brother David. David was in for $500,000. Family loyalty. Jennifer had verbally committed to $1.5 million. Jason needed $3 million total to launch Apex. The plan was to raid Nexicode's entire engineering team and client list. Launch date, April 15th, 2025. Marcus, if you're interested, I'd like to invest in Nexicode instead. $2 million, directly to you, to buy Jason out and take full control. I stared at him. Me? Why? Marcus, because I hate frauds, and because your technology is worth 10 times what Jason's selling it for. I called Rachel from the parking lot. Rachel, an investor wants to back you? Maya, this is perfect. This gives us leverage. We worked out the strategy. Step 1. Secure Marcus's investment offer in writing. Step 2. File emergency legal actions next Monday, before the March 1st buyout date. Step 3. Call an emergency board meeting and force Jason out. Step 4. Offer the engineering team a choice. Stay with me or leave with Jason and lose their equity. Rachel. But you cannot let Jason know you know. Not yet. You need to act completely normal for the next 6 days. That was the hardest part. Going home every night. Cooking dinner with Jason. Asking about his day. Listening to him lie to my face about investor meetings and exciting opportunities. All while I knew exactly what he was doing. Friday, February 14th. Jason brought me flowers for Valentine's Day. Roses. My favorite. I smiled and kissed him and said thank you. Then I went into our bathroom and recorded a voice memo on my phone. It's 9:47 p.m. on Valentine's Day. Jason just gave me roses while actively planning to steal $4 million from me. I need to remember this feeling. I need to remember that he looked me in the eye and lied. Saturday, February 15th. David Moreno, our accountant, sent me the full financial audit. $340,000 to the fake consulting company. Confirmed. But there was more. Jason had also authorized $85,000 in business development expenses that all trace back to Apex Solutions formation costs, legal fees for incorporation, website development, office space deposits. He'd been using our company money to build his competing company. Total amount stolen, $425,000. Sunday, February 16th. I met with Rachel and her team one final time before we filed. Rachel had assembled a litigation team of 4 lawyers. We reviewed every piece of evidence, every email, every financial record, every screenshot. Rachel, we file first thing Monday morning. Restraining order, injunction, lawsuit, all of it hits at once. Be prepared. Jason is going to lose his mind. Me, good. That night, I packed a bag. Not a lot, just enough for a few days. I'd be staying with my friend Keiko while the legal chaos unfolded. I sat in our bedroom, our beautiful, expensive bedroom in our Palo Alto condo, and looked at Jason sleeping. He had no idea what was coming. For 6 months, he'd been planning my destruction. Now it was my turn. Monday, February 17th, 2025, 8 a.m. Rachel filed everything simultaneously. Emergency temporary restraining order against Jason Chun. Preliminary injunction blocking the buyout agreement. Civil lawsuit for fraud, embezzlement, breach of fiduciary duty. Referral to the Santa Clara County District Attorney for criminal forgery charges. By 8:45 a.m., Jason's lawyer Mitchell Kowalski had been served. By 9:30 a.m., Jason knew. I was at Keiko's apartment when my phone started exploding. Jason, 23 missed calls, 47 text messages. I didn't answer. I didn't respond. At 10 a.m., I called an emergency board meeting. Nexacode's board consisted of 4 people. Me, co-founder and CTO. Jason, co-founder and CEO. Angela Park, independent director and former VP at Salesforce. Robert Martinez, independent director and venture capital veteran. The meeting was virtual. I'd made sure of that. I didn't want to be in the same room as Jason. Angela, Maya, what's this about? Your email said it was urgent. Me, I'm removing Jason Chin as CEO of Nexacode, effective immediately for fraud and embezzlement. Jason's video square went red. Jason, what the hell are you talking about? I shared my screen, pulled up the evidence folder. Me, on January 12th, you created a forged buyout agreement with my signature, planning to force me out of the company for $200,000, 5% of my equity's actual value. I clicked to the next slide. Me, you've stolen $425,000 from Nexacode to fund a competing company called Apex Solutions, using my proprietary code and algorithms. Next slide. Me, you recruited our VP of Engineering, Priya Sharma, and potentially our entire engineering team to jump ship to Apex. Next slide. Me. And you've pitched investors, including your own brother, on a product that is entirely my work, claiming you built it yourself. Jason, this is insane. Maya, you're having some kind of breakdown. Angela, Jason, stop. Is any of this true? Silence. Robert, Jason, I'm looking at the documents Maya shared. That's your signature on the Apex Incorporation papers. That's your email to Mitchell Kowalski discussing exit strategy. Jason's camera turned off. Jason, I want to speak to my lawyer before I say anything else. Me? Too late for that. I've already filed a restraining order. You're barred from accessing any Nexacode accounts, making any corporate decisions, or contacting our employees about company business. Angela, Maya, do you have legal representation? Me? Yes. Rachel Ng at Ng and Associates. She's on standby if you need verification of any of these claims. Robert, I move to suspend Jason Chin as CEO pending investigation. Angela, I second. Me, all in favor? Angela, aye. Robert, aye. Me, aye. Motion passes. Jason, you're suspended. Check your email for formal notice. Jason, you can't do this. I built this company. Me? No. I built the technology. You ran sales and marketing, and you destroyed your own career by trying to steal mine. This meeting is adjourned. I ended the Zoom call. My hands were shaking now. The adrenaline was catching up. Keiko brought me tea. Keiko, you okay? Me? I don't know. Ask me in 6 months. At 2 p.m., I called an all-hands meeting with the Nexacode team. I kept it simple. Team, effective today, Jason Chin is suspended as CEO due to serious allegations of financial misconduct. I'll be serving as acting CEO while the board conducts an investigation. I know this is shocking. I'm happy to answer questions, but please understand some matters are legally restricted. What I can say, Nexacode is stable, our client is secure, and I'm committed to protecting this company and everyone who works here. The Slack messages came flooding in. Most people were supportive. Confused, but supportive. But Priya Sharma didn't respond at all. At 4:30 p.m., Priya requested a one-on-one call. Priya looked terrified. Priya, Maya, I need to tell you something. Me? I already know, Priya. I've seen the Slack messages between you and Jason. She started crying. Priya, I'm so sorry. He told me you were planning to leave anyway. He said you wanted to start a family and step back from the company. He said this was all part of the plan. Me. And you believed him? Priya, he's the CEO. He showed me documents. He said you'd already signed off on everything. Me. Did you give him my algorithms? My code documentation. Silence. Priya. Yes. Me. You're fired. Effective immediately. HR will contact you about your exit. Priya. Maya, please. I ended the call. That night, Jason tried to come to Keiko's apartment. The doorbell rang at 11 p.m. I checked the video intercom. It was him. Jason. Maya, please. Let me explain. This is all a misunderstanding. I pressed the speaker button. Me. There's a restraining order, Jason. You're violating it right now. Leave, or I'm calling the police. Jason. I love you. We can fix this. Me. You forged my signature. You stole $425,000. You tried to take my company. There's nothing to fix. We're done. Jason, Maya. Me. I have nothing left to say to you. My lawyer will contact you about divorce proceedings. Goodbye, Jason. I turned off the intercom. And then, finally, I let myself cry. Not because I missed him, but because the life I thought I had, the partnership I believed in, had never really existed. The first week was chaos. Tuesday, Jason's lawyer filed a counter motion claiming I'd locked him out of his own company and demanding reinstatement. Judge Claudia Morrison denied it within 3 hours. The evidence was too clear. Wednesday, Jennifer Sato, one of the Apex investors, called me directly. Jennifer, Ms. Chun, I need to apologize. Jason Chen misrepresented your role in Nexacode's technology. I was under the impression you were a departed employee. Me, I'm the founder and CTO. Every patent has my name on it. Jennifer, I withdraw my commitment to Apex Solutions. If you're looking for investors for Nexacode's next round, I'd like to be in that conversation instead. Thursday, our head of sales, Marcus Young, no relation to Marcus Webb, resigned. He'd been planning to leave with Jason. I let him go without a fight. Better to lose people who weren't loyal now than later. Friday, the engineering team had a choice to make. I called a department meeting. Me, I know some of you have been approached about joining Apex Solutions. I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Anyone who stays at Nexacode will get a 15% equity increase and immediate vesting acceleration on existing shares. Anyone who leaves forfeits all unvested equity per our standard agreements. I paused. Me, I built this platform. I know every line of code. I know where we're going next. Jason was a good salesperson, but he didn't create what makes this company valuable. You all know that. So make your choice, but make it by Monday. Saturday, I met with Marcus Webb again. Marcus, I want to formalize my investment offer. $2 million for 20% equity, valuing Nexacode at $10 million post-money. Me, I want to buy Jason out entirely. Can you structure the investment to facilitate that? Marcus smiled. Marcus, absolutely. In fact, I prefer that. I don't want to work with Jason Chun. I want to work with you. We shook hands. Sunday, I went back to the condo to get more of my things while Jason was out. His lawyer had arranged specific access times to avoid violating the restraining order. The place was a mess. Dishes piled up, laundry everywhere. Jason had always relied on me to keep our life organized. I packed systematically. Clothes, books, my awards and certificates. Photos, not of us, but of my family, my dad, my life before Jason. I left the roses he'd given me for Valentine's Day. They were dead now anyway. Week 2 update. By Monday, 9 of the 12 engineers chose to stay with Nexacode. The 3 who left? Junior developers who'd been at the company less than a year. No major loss. Priya tried to reach out through mutual friends. Wanted to explain. I ignored all of it. Jason's brother David called me. David, Maya, I'm withdrawing from Apex. I didn't know Jason had. I didn't know the full story. I'm sorry. Me, you believed him when he said I wasn't involved in the company I founded? David, he's my brother. I want to support him. Me, he's a fraud. And you should have done 5 minutes of research before investing in stolen technology. I hung up. Week 3. The Santa Clara County DA's office opened a criminal investigation into the forged buyout document. Jason could face up to 3 years in prison for forgery and embezzlement. His lawyer reached out to Rachel about a settlement. Rachel, they want to settle. Jason will relinquish all equity in Nexacode in exchange for you dropping the criminal charges. Me, what about the money you stole? Rachel, full restitution. $425,000 plus interest. Me, and he leaves the industry? No competing company, no use of my code, no poaching clients. Rachel, we can put that in the settlement with heavy penalties for violation. I thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. Me, add one more condition. He has to publicly resign from Nexacode and state that all technical work was mine. I want on record. Rachel, done. The settlement negotiations took 6 weeks. Jason tried to play hardball at first, claimed he deserved something for his years of work building the business side. Rachel shut that down immediately. Rachel, your client committed fraud and embezzlement. The evidence is overwhelming. If this goes to trial, he's not walking away with equity. He's walking into a prison cell. The settlement we're offering is generous. Jason's lawyer, Mitchell, the same one who'd helped with the scheme, had dropped him once the criminal investigation started. Jason's new lawyer, a public defender named Tom Bradford, looked exhausted. Tom, my client built the sales infrastructure, brought in all the major contracts. Rachel, using my client's technology, which he then attempted to steal. We're not negotiating his contribution. We're negotiating how much prison time he can avoid. The subplot that had been building, Jason's deteriorating situation and failed Apex launch. Marcus Webb had semi-updates through his network. Apparently, Apex Solutions never launched. No investors, no technology, no team. Jason had to move out of our Palo Alto condo. Couldn't afford it without company income. He was living in San Jose with a former college roommate. His reputation in Silicon Valley was destroyed. Word had spread fast. The final settlement came down in April. Jason relinquished 100% of his Nexicode equity, valued at $4 million. Jason paid full restitution, $425,000 plus $35,000 in interest and legal fees. Jason signed a non-compete agreement barring him from the AI and customer service industry for 5 years within California. Jason published a public statement on LinkedIn acknowledging my role as technical founder and sole creator of Nexicode's platform. All criminal charges dropped upon payment of restitution. I had to liquidate some of Jason's equity to get the cash payment, but Marcus Webb's $2 million investment covered buying out the rest. Final cap table, Maya Chun, 80% ownership. Marcus Webb, 20% ownership. Jason Chun, 0%. The divorce was simpler. California is a community property state, but we had a prenup. Ironically, Jason had insisted on it back in 2016. Divorce terms, no spousal support. The prenup waived it. I kept the condo. My name was on the deed, primarily due to my higher credit score back when we bought it. We split other assets 50-50ths, cars, savings accounts, furniture. No kids, no custody disputes. Divorce finalized in 90 days. Jason tried one last manipulation on the day we signed the divorce papers. We met at Rachel's office to sign everything. Jason looked terrible. He'd lost weight. His clothes didn't fit right. His eyes were hollow. Jason, Maya, can we talk? Privately? Rachel, absolutely not. Anything you need to say can be said with counsel present. Jason, I want you to know I never meant to hurt you. I thought I was building something for both of us. I looked at him for a long moment. Me? You forged my signature, Jason. You stole $425,000. You tried to take 8 years of my work and erase me from it. You didn't do that by accident. You did it because you thought I was too trusting and too stupid to notice. Jason, that's not me. You told Priya I was clueless with business. You told investors I was a junior developer. You bet your entire scheme on me being someone you can manipulate and discard. I signed the divorce papers. Me, you were wrong, and now you have nothing. Jason, I still love me. No, you don't. You love what I built. You love what I could do for you. You never loved me. I stood up. Me, we're done here. I walked out of that office and didn't look back. It's been 14 months since I found that forged contract. I'm sitting in my new office at Nexicode headquarters. We moved to a bigger space in Mountain View 6 months ago. Floor-to-ceiling windows, exposed brick, the whole Silicon Valley aesthetic. But more importantly, we're thriving. After Jason left and I took full control, Nexicode's revenue increased 40%. We signed 3 new Fortune 500 contracts. Our platform is now being used by companies in 12 countries. Last quarter, we hit $18 million in revenue. That's a 50% increase from our best year with Jason. Turns out, he actually was holding us back. The team is stronger too. I promoted one of our senior engineers, Caitlin Rodriguez, to VP of Engineering. She's brilliant, loyal, and actually understands the technology. We hired 8 new people. Diverse team, better culture. I rebuilt the leadership team from scratch. Me as CEO, I took the title myself. No more separation of business and tech. Caitlin as VP of Engineering. A new head of sales I recruited from AWS. A fractional CFO who actually knows what financial controls look like. Marcus Webb joined our board as an active investor. He's been an incredible mentor. Introduced me to other investors. helped me negotiate contracts, taught me the business side I'd always let Jason handle. I'm not just a technical founder anymore. I'm a real CEO. Personally, I'm doing better than I ever thought I would. The first few months after the divorce were hard. I had nightmares about losing the company, about Jason somehow winning, about discovering I'd missed something. But therapy helped. My therapist, Dr. Patel, helped me work through betrayal, the trust issues, all of it. I started dating again around month 8. Nothing serious yet, but I'm open to it. I'm learning what red flags actually look like, learning to trust my instincts instead of talking myself out of them. My friend group rallied hard. Keiko let me stay with her for 2 months until I was ready to move back into the condo. My college roommate flew out from New York just to be there. My sister called every single day. I learned who my real people were. As for Jason, last I heard, he moved to Austin, trying to start fresh in a new tech scene. But word travels fast in this industry. Everyone knows what he did. He's working as a sales consultant now. Freelance. Making maybe $80,000 a year if he's lucky. From co-founder of an $8 million company to freelance sales consultant. That's what fraud gets you. I don't take pleasure in his downfall. Honestly, I don't think about him much at all anymore. He's just someone I used to know. Someone who taught me a very expensive lesson about trust and verification. Here's what I learned. First, trust your instincts. When something feels wrong, investigate. Don't explain away red flags just because you love someone or because confrontation is uncomfortable. Second, document everything. In business and in life. I had every piece of evidence I needed because I've been thorough from day one. Third, you're not defined by who betrayed you. You're defined by how you respond. Jason tried to erase my contribution to our company. Instead, I erased it from it entirely and built something even better. Fourth, smart beats loud. I didn't scream or make scenes. I gathered evidence, got legal protection, and systematically dismantled his scheme. Fifth, the people who stay matter more than the people who leave. My real team stuck with me. The opportunists left. That's clarifying. Last week, we got acquisition interest from a major tech company. They're offering $45 million. I'm not selling. Not yet, anyway. I built this once with someone who tried to steal it from me. I'm building it bigger on my own. My name is Maya Chun. I'm 34 years old. I'm the founder and CEO of Nexacode. I'm an engineer, a business owner, and someone who fought for what was mine and won. And I'm just getting started.